Hey, nothing wrong with that. Okay.
No, no, no. I just started the live and I'm done. Yeah, why did you need something or?
No, I'm going to start over there, and then I'll make my way around here and just make sure that everything's straight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it plugged in and it's live right now going. And I sent you the link if you want to share it. I sent one to Medea.
Okay, yep, that's charging. Great.
And this is good right here? Okay, making sure. Sergeant 1.
You did, man.
Oh,
You sure did. How are you?
good. How you doing?
What's up, Gabriel? So how are good? All right.
Sorry, last name Forte. For sure, sir. For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, if able, please begin get to your seats. We're going to start here very shortly. Please, if you haven't already, make sure you turn off your cell phones, silence all electronic devices, and then also make sure you take a look at that pamphlet that's sitting on your chair, because the words for the national anthem are on the back of it, and our retiree has requested that we sing along to the national anthem today. So just study up if you need to. We'll get started here in a couple minutes. Alrighty, good afternoon. On behalf of the Ogden Air Logistics Complex Commander, Major General Kenyon K. Bell, welcomes you to the retirement ceremony of Colonel Michelle M. Artolachi-Bey, as we celebrate her distinguished 27-year career of honorable service to the United States Air Force. Throughout the ceremony, you will be given cues to stand and be seated at the appropriate time. As a reminder, during the national anthem, military members should stand at attention. Our civilian guests should place their right hands over their hearts during the singing of the national anthem. Again, Colonel Artola Chipe has requested the audience sing the national anthem today and looks forward to our performance. Today, we experience one of the oldest and most traditional ceremonies in our military heritage. It honors Air Force members as they retire from a long, honorable career in service to their country. A retirement ceremony is designed to leave our retirees with a tangible expression of appreciation for their contributions to the Air Force and its mission, and with the assurance that they will continue to be valuable members of the Air Force family in retirement. Today's ceremony is in keeping with those customs and traditions. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. Please stand for the arrival of the official party. The playing ruffles and flourishes, and please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by the audience, which is us, and the invocation by Chaplain Derek Barnett.
And a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, say.
Please join me in prayer as you will. Heavenly Father, we gather here today with gratitude and reflection as we celebrate the distinguished career of Colonel Michelle Artola Chipe. For 27 years, she has answered the call to duty, navigating diverse assignments and embodying the core values of the Air Force. Lord, we thank you for the opportunities granted to Colonel Artola Chipe, for the challenges she has overcome, and for the countless military and civilian personnel touched by her leadership and mentorship. We recognize the profound impact of relationships forged in the crucible of shared experiences and mutual support. And we ask that the bonds created throughout her career continue to flourish. May her relationships with her fellow officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian staff nurtured through shared missions and mutual respect continue to thrive. We acknowledge Colonel Artola Chipe's constant striving for balance, understanding that it is a dynamic process, a pendulum swinging between duty and family, personal growth and professional demands. Grant her wisdom and peace as she transitions to this new chapter, seeking equilibrium in a different rhythm. We honor the diverse communities Colonel Artola Chipe embraced, from the flight line to the Joint Staff, from operational squadrons to NATO commands. Remind us that each role, each perspective is vital to the mission, and that true strength lies in understanding and appreciating our differences. We give special thanks for Michelle's family, and especially for Medea, her steadfast wife. We celebrate their sacrifices and unwavering support throughout Colonel Artolachipe's career, as she embarks on this new chapter with Medea in Utah. May their home be filled with joy, laughter, and the warmth of family and friends. May they find new adventures to share, new passions to explore, and ample time to savor the simple pleasures of life together. May their days be filled with peace, contentment, and the deep satisfaction of knowing they have served with honor and distinction. We offer this prayer with gratitude and hope, knowing that Colonel Artolachipe's legacy of leadership and service will continue to inspire us all. Amen. Hi, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for that patriotic rendition of the national anthem, and also thank you, Chaplain Barno. Please be seated. I would like to take a moment to recognize our distinguished guests in the audience. Please hold your applause until all are announced. Colonel Artolachipe's wife, Mrs. Medea Artolachipe. Colonel Artolachipe's mother, Mrs. Nancy Artolachipe. Her brother, Mr. Ryan Artolachipe, and his wife, Michelle, and their daughter, Michaela. Her aunt, Miss Mirta Cibles. Her cousin, Mr. Richard Garcia. Her sister-in-law, Farah Childers, and her husband, David. And her cousin, Mr. Jared Hinkle. Additionally, we welcome the following Team Hill partners and community members in attendance. Again, please hold your applause until all are announced. Mrs. Lori Bell, wife of Major General Kenyon Bell. Mayor of Layton City, the Honorable Joy Pedro. Mayor of Clearfield City, the Honorable Mark Shepard. Mayor of Clinton City, the Honorable Brandon Stanger and his wife, Connie. Deputy Director, Utah Department of Veterans Affairs, Mr. Brian Garrett. Major General, United States Air Force retired, Kevin Sullivan. Brigadier General, United States Air Force retired, Brigadier General, U.S. Air Force retired, Rick Gibbs. Sorry, sir. Brigadier General, United States Air Force retired, Max Stitzer. Commander, 388th Fighter Wing, Colonel Michael Yeti. Command Chief, 388th Fighter Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Valerie Shank. Commander, 419th Fighter Wing, Colonel Ronald Sloma. Individual Mobilization Assistant to the Commander, Colonel Bradley Douglas. And of course, Deputy Director, Ogden Air Logistics Complex, Miss Sandy Fitzgerald, and her husband, Mr. Matt Sucroft. And of course, a warm welcome to all the senior leaders, commanders, deputies, staff, office directors, and Team Hill friends. Thank you for attending today. The military retirement ceremony is a function rich in military tradition and history. It is a milestone which very few of our nation's citizens ever reach, and an honor bestowed upon those few who have chosen to devote the greatest portion of their adult life in the service of our country ahead of their own families. This retirement ceremony symbolizes many things. In the case of Colonel Artolachipe, it symbolizes the culmination of 27 years of service when she took the oath to support and defend her nation and the Constitution upon which it was founded. She remained a dedicated guardian of American liberty despite sacrifices that Colonel Artolachipe and Medea endured, because she is one of the few American citizens who felt the calling to do so. As we celebrate Colonel Artola Chipe's retirement from active service in the United States Air Force, let it serve to remind us of the sacred commitments to which we have been called. Let us not dwell on the hardships and sacrifices she willingly shared over 2 decades, but more importantly, let us look forward with Colonel Artola Chipe to the bright future that lies ahead. While this ceremony recognizes the culmination of a long and loyal military career, it too signals the beginning of a new life for her family. Colonel Artola Chipe, we wish you Godspeed and protection as you embark upon this new chapter in your life, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our presiding officer for today's ceremony, Major General Kenyon Bell.
Good afternoon, everybody. How we doing? Fantastic. I said, good afternoon, everybody. How we doing? Okay, all right. We got a crowd in here today. So, as the captain just mentioned, at the end of a career, there's a lot of thoughts that go through your mind. It's a time of reflection, contemplation, maybe a little bit of apprehension, and of course, some anticipation. But this is the time when we get a little bit extra sappy. Maybe I should use the word sentimental. Y'all are kind of mean mugging me right now. Let me keep it clean. It's frequently characterized by what I might call a little bit of dust is in the air every now and then. I mean, you may not see it, but every now and then from up on this stage, and maybe when Colonel Artola Chipe gets up here, there may be some dust in the area. And so that dust sometimes makes our eyes water like Niagara Falls. If that happens, it's going to be okay. All we're going to do is applaud, right? So we're just going to help it applaud, and we're just going to move it right along. Can you practice with me for a moment? Yep. As the captain mentioned, this day is pretty significant. The 27th day of May marks an important milestone. Colonel Artola Chipe, or as I call her, Mickey, and most people in the organization call her Colonel A. I can't tell you how long it took me to be able to say Artola Chipe. I had to practice it a lot of times in the mirror before I went out in public. But this chosen date is significant. It represents 27 years of service to the day. So you see, in 1998, around this very time of day, Mickey Artola Chipe was tossing her cap in the air after being commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. And as a proud member of the class of 1998, this will be the only time you hear me say this, dominate 98. In fact, if you look at your program, she boldly placed her cadet fourth class picture in there. She was like 17 years old in that picture. I dare not do that myself. But additionally, if you'll just allow me just for a moment, everything that Mickey does is intentional. And additionally, just like in 1998, we are coming right off of a solemn holiday weekend in which we honor our fallen service members, those soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Guardians, and Coast Guardsmen who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. And for that, we must remember. As President John F. Kennedy said, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them. So she chose this date very specifically, obviously because it is commemorative of her date of commissioning, but also following such a weekend in which we remember. And many of us, that is very personal, and I know it is for Mickey as well. If you will join me for a moment of silence. Thank you for that. A moment of remembrance is always very important. So as I said, this 27th day of May marks an important milestone. And as we get started today, I want to thank several people who brought this day to fruition. First of all, Father Derek, thank you very much. And I know I can't say Artola Chipe like you did. It just rolled right off for you. Thank you for that prayer for today's service. Captain Logan Jones is around here somewhere. All of the LCDPers that went into making this ceremony come off without a hitch, the protocol staff, and of course, you yourselves for singing the national anthem. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. Now, because our narrator has already mentioned several folks in the crowd, I won't repeat, but I just want to make mention that it is important for us to acknowledge strong communities, because strong communities make strong bases. So for all of our mayors that are here, our retired general officers, our members of the community that have come and chosen to join us today as we honor service, thank you. Thank you for coming out today. Brian Garrett, I see you there. I know people were looking for your seat. I see you there. And to our wing commanders, wing command chiefs, our civilian leaders, military members, active duty and retired, and again, all the other community leaders, thank you very much for being here today. For a California native, this culminates a career of many highlights. I want to acknowledge our guests that are here on the front row, but first I want to start with those that are watching online, because one very significant member is not here in the front row, and that's Mr. Ray Artolachipe, Mickey's father. He's not traveling, he did not travel with us, but he is there online looking and watching on, and he is the reason that he got many members of his family into aviation. He is that reason. And so, one more time, I should have told you right up front, this is going to be class participation throughout the course of today. So we're going to make sure that Mr. Artolachipe knows and feels the love from this room. So we're going to scream like you won the lotto. I don't think we do the lotto here. We're going to scream like you won the lotto. So clap and scream like you can say, hello, Mr. Artolachipe. Clap and scream. Let's do it. Thank you for that. And again, for all the family, it is great to see you again. For those who don't know, Mickey was awarded a decoration from her last job that finally made it to her about 4 or 5 months ago. We had a chance to have many of the family members out. So it's great to see many of you again. And I will just call out one person, because Mickey's influence goes far and wide. And she's got a niece here today. Michaela, I'm going to embarrass you. I know you don't embarrass very easily. You're a strong young lady. And she has decided that she wants to go to the United States Air Force Academy. Yes. And having met and talked with Michaela, and hopefully you also will get a chance to, if she says she wants to do it, she's absolutely going to do it. She is driven, and she, of course, has a great role model in Colonel Artolachipe. Now that's just the blood family on this side, and the other beauty about this is relationships. This is kind of a hallmark for Mickey. And as we look across this crowd, and we did not announce everybody who has traveled from near and far, but there is someone from just about every duty station where Mickey has served throughout her 27 years. And so at this point, outside of the folks that are here serving here in Utah, if you served with Mickey in a location other than Hill Air Force Base, I'm going to ask you to stand. Go ahead, stand. You have served with her in Germany, in Europe, all over. Yes, thank you very much. This is, please stand for just one moment. This is significant. We've got folks from Germany, we've got folks from other stateside locations, and this is significant in what relationship building is all about. So thank you very much for making the trip. This family environment is what this is all about. Because today we get to honor a person, we get to honor a family, and we get to honor their service. Now when I talk about Mickey, what you will understand is that she is a humble officer, a transformational leader, skilled and proven in multiple skill sets, and she is absolutely the most diversely skilled officer who I have read about and who I have come to know. And I'm gonna share with you why that's the case. In fact, I would even call her a unicorn in some of the jobs and some of the experiences that she has had. Over the course of 13 total assignments, 5 overseas, in 3 different countries in over 27 years, you can quickly say that she's been there and done that. We have about 10 major commands within the United States Air Force, and she has been in 7 of them. Air Education Training Command, Pacific Air Forces, Air Force Special Operations Command, Air Force Materiel Command, Air Combat Command, Southcom, USAFE, and I'll put a slash there and call it NATO. That's a little bit uncommon. She's an aircraft maintenance officer by trade. She's been leading people and has had millions of dollars of equipment that has been at her fingertips and that she has been responsible for. And that just comes with the job that we do on a daily basis. She has been at a major MAJCOM staff as a company grade officer. And you can read in her bio there all of the places that she's been. That's not what I'm going to do for you today. I'm not going to run down through each assignment, but I'm going to pick out some of those special things that I think really define her career service. 2 times she's been a squadron commander. And for the family, I want to translate a little bit of this for you. So as a commander, this is like the penultimate. This is the height of anyone's career. That one single duty title called commander. When you're responsible for the mission, and you're also responsible for the welfare of your people. And she got a chance to do that twice as a squadron commander. And then, of course, many of us in uniform kind of get used to seeing some stratifications. But I need you to know that she was rated #1 multiple times as a squadron commander and throughout her time in service through the jobs that she's done. She attended Air Command and Staff College in residence, which is reserved to the top 10% of who we are as a service. And then back in the day, before we were going to war in the Middle East, one of the toughest assignments that we had was going off to Kunsan Air Base in South Korea. It's a remote assignment. It's when you leave family behind and you go off and you're away. And at the time that she did it, we didn't have the internet service that we have and this thing called FaceTime and all of that. You know, it might have even been DSL. Remember the dial-up? Y'all remember the dial-up. Come on. It might have been that kind of communication that she had to utilize. But she did that assignment, another hard assignment. And then one assignment that certainly rings out for her was an assignment to Florida. So it wasn't all rough assignments through her time. She was at Eglin Air Force Base. And at Eglin Air Force Base, thank goodness she enjoys physical fitness because, yeah, go ahead, Medea, you can smile real big. That's what she meant, Medea. I don't know exactly how the story goes, but you only need 10% of the truth to have a good story. It was over CrossFit, and I'm not sure who was doing burpees or who was doing those pull-ups that hurt your back the most, but somewhere along the line she met Medea, and then now we have this union that has lasted for 11 years on the way to 50. And this wonderful person, let me pause here and just talk about Medea for just a moment. Because Medea, while she is a military spouse, which you also must understand is that Medea served in uniform in her own right. As a defender, or I think it was called security police at the time, wearing the ascot on the gate with the white gloves. And if you ever want to get her going, just have her talk about how she trudged uphill both ways to get to her post and was on post for 24-hour shifts with 2 hours off, and she started again. But in all seriousness, Medea, we thank you for your service, both in uniform and then making that transition to being a military spouse. And as I continue on and talk about the career of your wife, believe me, we know the tough challenges that come with being a military spouse, and I'm not just talking about taking care of your active duty member, but taking care of other airmen and doing the things that are required to ensure that airmen are nurtured outside of the duties and with the family members. And you all were in command through COVID, and all of the mission-related taskings that earned Mickey's attention that pulled her away from home. And we thank you. We thank you for your undying military support, both in uniform and as a military spouse. And even though you're not up on the stage getting these accolades, we're going to give you your due today. Thank you very much, Medea. Now, while Eglin was a cherished time, you know, after you do any good assignment, we were just chatting with some other folks, after you have a good assignment outside and doing things as a commander, then of course we pull you right back and we send you to a desk job. And so Mickey has also had the opportunity to be on the chairman's joint staff. So please understand this: an aircraft maintenance officer, squadron command, which everybody doesn't get to do, going off to school and residence, and then going to be on the joint staff. Another uncommon selected, by name selected position. And then while on the staff, she served not just in the logistics arena, as many people do in our career fields, but she was on the J5, which is the political military area of the joint staff. And of course earned accolades there as well as the #1 officer and officer of the year for the J5. And then she went on to also be doing jobs at the operational level out at the 1st Fighter Wing. So I know we have the 388th Fighter Wing Commander here and the 419th, you know, and they fly the big planes that go boom and give us all the good feelings when they're flying overhead. But we do have this other wing on the other side of the coast, and it's the 1st Fighter Wing. And they're the 1st Fighter Wing because they often get called first. But what Mickey has the wonderful moniker that not many people can say is that her unit won the Raytheon Trophy, which says that they were the best F-15 unit in the entire Air Force. And I also have had the opportunity to be stationed at Langley Air Force Base. And again, only once, Mickey, will I say this. Only once. Because blue does rule, but the 71st Fighter Squadron, which she was a part of, did an outstanding job in maintaining their unit and their iron. So wonderful, wonderful job there. And then the other unique aspect that I want to share with you today. Mickey, at a very young age, as a lieutenant even, in her early OPRs, performance reports, she was identified for her skills, for her language skills and her skills of diplomacy. And even as a young lieutenant, she was tapped to escort and translate for officers that were coming to visit the Chief of Staff of the Air Force and serve as an escort officer and a translator. And so then later on, it's not a surprise that she became a foreign area officer or a FAO. And that also is a little bit unique. And as a FAO, Mickey had to plow a unique road in this aspect, because many said, no, you're absolutely going to kill your career if you go and do this. I'd say that she did pretty good. She maintained her level of excellence, and she continued to wow her superiors and take care of her mission. And while doing that, she helped write the president's policy on Cuba for 2 different presidents of the United States. And then, right before coming to this job, Mickey had the wonderful opportunity to be a logistics wing commander. Now, wing command is something that is very coveted. And then you do it in a multinational arena. And many folks who wear the badge like we do in the support role, we are often put in charge of people who are on the support side of it. But in her particular role as the logistics wing commander, she had rated members also that fell up underneath her command. Another unique type of assignment. And during her time as the logistics wing commander, she ran 24/7 operations at Geilenkirchen with a multinational team to support Europe's eastern flank after Russia invaded Ukraine. And as you saw in uniform, her military deputy is here with us today. Colonel Kluge, thank you very much again for being here with us. So all of these accomplishments that I just talked about do not begin to tell the overall story. So I want to leave you with 2 short stories about Mickey. So Mickey has also had a job of being a deputy group commander. And as I did a little bit of research, you know, it's not very hard. You go and start asking questions about somebody named Artola Chipe. They may not know how to spell the name or pronounce the name, but they certainly remember the person. And I quickly learned that in her deputy group command position, not speaking ill will of anybody that she came after, but she held down the fort in a strong way and brought some maintenance know-how to the unit in which she joined. And she brought a breath of fresh air to that unit, allowing that unit to then continue to support the job and the missions that they were doing. And this was in the Air Force Special Operations Command, and we also often call them snake eaters. In that job, as a deputy group commander, she took care of her people, she took care of her mission in a fantastic way. And then that brings us right here to where we are today. So it was only about 2.5 years ago when I met Mickey at a Logistics Officers Association. And Mickey came to me, and there was discussion about whether someone else was going to snatch her away and take her away to another job. But I believe she really wanted this job. But more importantly, I believe Medea really wanted to come here. And so she was adamant, please don't let that job change. And so then as we find her here and in a new environment, in a depot environment, she jumped in, got in, and has understood exactly what we do here and is taking care of our people. When she takes care of any mission task that I've given her, I've not had to worry. And on the people side, as our logistics career broadeners will tell you, they honored her the other day with a plaque, letting her know that they certainly appreciate the type of care and nurturing that she has given them in their roles as logistics career broadeners out here within a depot. So Mickey, it is my extreme honor to play a small part of your ceremony today. You have served with impeccable character and integrity throughout your 27 years of service. And I know that it is not your desire to stand on stage and be here as a person being the center of attention, but we are going to make sure that this ceremony is documented. Blake, would you come up for just a moment? As Blake comes up, this is something that I learned that Mickey does frequently for others that she presides over the ceremony. She's simply going to take a picture of this from this stage looking at you. So smile with all 32, 22, or 12 teeth that you have. Please show them all as we can smile and have this. Thank you very much, Blake. I appreciate that. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to award Mickey with her medal for the time that she has served here, but that also culminates the duration of her 27 years. Mickey, I just want to say on behalf of the Grateful Nation, unfortunately we couldn't fit everybody here in this hangar in front of this helicopter that you so enjoy, but we absolutely appreciate everything that you've done for our service, for our nation, and for our airmen over the course of 27 years. Thank you very much, and please join me up here.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the Legion of Merit and continue standing for the retirement order. Attention to orders. Colonel Michelle M. Artola-Chipe distinguished herself by exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Deputy Commander, Ogden Air Logistics Complex, Air Force Sustainment Center, Hill Air Force Base, Utah, from 3 August 2023 to 31 July 2025. During this period, the exemplary ability, diligence, and devotion of duty of Colonel Artola-Chipe were instrumental in the resolution of many complex problems of major importance to the United States Air Force. In this capacity, she masterfully directed 6,900 airmen in the depot-level modification, repair, and overhaul of fighter, airlift, and intercontinental ballistic missile weapon systems, ensuring unmatched operational readiness and generating $2.1 billion in revenue while producing to promise on over 70,000 assets. Moreover, she orchestrated F-16 and F-35 continuous process improvement teams, integrating cutting-edge technologies and digitization to achieve a remarkable 29% surge in production and slashing flow days by 55%. Finally, her visionary leadership fostered collaboration with installation partners, culminating in the first post-tenant support agreement update in 19 years, and the implementation of performance-based metrics that guaranteed sustained service, excellence, and responsiveness to the workforce. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Artola-Chipe culminate in a long and distinguished career in the service of her country and reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force. now present the retirement order. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Special Order Number AL000937, effective July 31st, 2025. Colonel Michelle M. Artola-Chipe is relieved from active duty. Ogden Air Logistics Complex, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Retired effective August 1st, 2025, per AFI 363203 in the grade of Colonel by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. General Bell will now present several certificates and letters of appreciation to Colonel Artola-Chipe. Certificates of appreciation for retirees from the President of the United States are not available at this time. Colonel Artola-Chipe will now be presented with a letter of appreciation from former President of the United States, George W. Bush, which reads, "Dear Michelle, thank you for your service in the United States Armed Forces. I am proud to have served as your Commander-in-Chief, and I am pleased to join your family, friends, and colleagues in recognition of your career and accomplishments. Throughout history, the dedicated men and women of our military have protected our citizens and preserved the ideals that make our country strong. Their courage and sacrifice have inspired countless people and have helped shape America's character. On behalf of a grateful nation, I thank you for your contributions to our security and to the cause of peace and freedom. Your service, patriotism, and selfless devotion have helped advance the universal hope of liberty at home and around the world. Laura and I send our best wishes for health and happiness in the years ahead. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless America. Sincerely, George W. Bush." She is now being presented the retirement certificate signed by the Air Force Chief of Staff, General David W. Alvin, which reads, "To all who shall see presence, greetings. This is to certify that Colonel Michelle M. Artola-Chipe, having served faithfully and honorably, is retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of August 2025. Mrs. Artola-Chipe, may I please ask you to come join your wife and General Bell on stage. Mrs. Artola-Chipe, we now ask you to place Colonel Artola-Chipe's retirement pin to her lapel. In the future, each time Colonel Artola-Chipe wears her uniform or business attire, this pin will serve to remind all that she has served faithfully and has earned her retirement. The pin indicates she is still a member of the Air Force family, but now serves in a retired status. Colonel Artola-Chipe, please wear this pin proudly on future occasions. Mrs. Artola-Chipe, we would also like to take a moment to thank you for all of your personal sacrifices in Colonel Artola-Chipe's career. Mrs. Artola-Chipe is being presented a certificate of appreciation from the United States Air Force signed by General David W. Alvin, Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force, and Major General Kenyon K. Bell, Commander, Ogden Air Logistics Complex, which reads, "In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Medea Artola-Chipe for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support which you gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service, given on the first day of August 2025. She will now be presented with a certificate of appreciation from Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Chief Master Sergeant David A. Flosey, which reads, on behalf of all Air Force airmen and their families, the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force presents this certificate of appreciation to Medea Artola Chipe. I join your spouse, family, and friends in thanking you for the numerous contributions and sacrifices you made in support of the United States Air Force. Your dedication gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service in defense of our nation. Thank you, General Bell and Mrs. Artola Chipe. You may now take your seats. Colonel Artola Chipe will now be presented gifts from her friends and fellow coworkers. Please come forward as your name is called. From the Ogden Air Logistics Complex Quality Assurance Office, Mr. Salmon. From the 309th Maintenance Support Group, Mr. Buddy Breezemaster.
Thank you very much for your leadership and leading the support group. For us, tons of support. We appreciate it very much, especially in our leadership program and guidance and Dan over the last couple of years. Those recertification, we had those thank you very much there. And then, of course, big for us was rapid. Okay, we didn't want to act there. We actually have to wait for the short. From rapid office, a little off business center, so we can put that in.
From the 309th Electronics Maintenance Group, Mr. Preston Miller. From the 309th Commodities Maintenance Group, Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Glenmeyer. Alrighty, and from the 309th Missile Maintenance Group, Mr. Ron Carver. From the 309th AMXG, Colonel Ryan Nash.
So a couple weeks ago, I said, hey, Mickey, you need help moving? She goes, yeah, I need help moving my weight set. So go to her house, we open up the garage, and it's a full gym. And I'm like, all right, man, where's this going? She goes, in my basement of my new house. So the entire day, we're moving her weight set for the most part of the day, about 4,500 pounds. And at the end, she goes, hey, Ryan, I'm giving you a bottle of beer. I'm like, yeah, a lot of work in that. So this is just not ordinary beer, this is Belgian beer, all right? There's a process to get it. But as she gives me a bottle, I think she felt bad, so she had to get another one. And she goes, whatever you do, make sure I return the bottle to you. Someone is shipping these bottles back to Belgium, all right, back to the monastery there to make more beer. But with that, maybe what we did is we got a cooler here, all right, but on the cooler is all of our points, G7, okay? And we have swag, we put this water, wine glasses, bottle of wine, all that stuff in there. So thank you for taking care of us, all right, and you know, if you need to
From the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group, Colonel Neil Aurelio.
Mickey, on behalf of the men and women of AMARC, I want to say to you, Nadia, congratulations and well wishes in your retirement. I do want to remind you during your visit to AMARC that you are certified to apply spray lat, shown on our tail flash here, but I also have the actual picture where you have your actual certificate here from one of our technicians. So if the job prospects do not look too good up here in Utah, you're always welcome to come back to Tucson as family. But you also got to witness the greatest group in the ALCU from the air on an H-860 during that trip. So again, congratulations.
And from the Ogden Air Logistics Complex, Major General Bell.
I'm going to ask Ms. Fitzgerald and Colonel Douglas to come up and support me in this presentation. So within our complex, also known as a wing, you can't do this job without a team. And Mickey, you have been an integral part of our team. As the DCOM, the deputy commander, and I think somewhere in there it changed from vice commander to DCOM. You have held us down. You have brought transformational ideas You have brought thoughts from all of the other assignments that you've been a part of. The only thing you didn't bring was the beer that you gave Colonel Nash. But either way, you're absolutely going to be missed. We're happy that you are not going very far. And until the 1st of August, when it is actually official in the retirement, we have you on quick redial to bring you back in. So thank you very much. And likewise, we have a great inscription there. Let me just see it. So Deputy Commander, August 23 to May 25. You didn't know she is an avid baseball fan. Thank you for your engaged leadership. You've hit home runs, Dodger style, and helped take the Ogden Air Logistics Complex to new heights. Thank you very much.
All right, very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, now we will witness the presentation of Colonel Arturo Chipe's Shadow Box, which is proudly displayed here in front of the stage, showcasing memorabilia pertinent to her distinguished Air Force career spanning 27 years. The tradition of presenting a shadow box to a retiring military member is born of early Royal Navy custom. In the days of sail, when England ruled the seas, it was considered bad luck for a retiring sailor upon their final departure from the ship to allow their shadow to hit the pier before they departed the ship. In order to ensure no such misfortune would befall their departing shipmate, the crew would construct a box of the finest timber and place within it all things which reflected their accomplishment throughout their life at sea. Only then could the person with the shadow of themselves as a sailor, secured safely in the box and in the hands of their closest shipmate, go ashore once and for all. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to present for the first time Colonel Michelle M. Ortolo-Chipe, United States Air Force, retired. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
A little surreal, it's finally here. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, mayors, generals, community leaders from state and the local area. We got TUMAC, we got UDA reps, Brian Garrett, I see you. I'm not going to give you a hard time at the ceremony. I'm going to give you a hard time later. You practice? Okay. Wing leadership from the 388th and the 419th, and men and women of the Ogden Air Logistics Complex, friends. Thank you so much for joining me and my family today at this ceremony. I want to start out by saying that for those not from here, and the boss alluded to this a little bit, but the Salt Lake region has something called an inversion, and it causes some to suffer from allergies. So if you see my eyes start to tear up, it's probably from an inversion that's happening outside. You just haven't seen it yet. So this part of the ceremony is not about me, because I think you've all heard just about enough of that. And talking about myself has never really been particularly comfortable anyways. This part of it is about all of you. General Bell, thank you for officiating today. I've had the privilege of serving with you as your deputy for the last 2 years. Love it. And it's been awesome. I could not have asked for a better boss or assignment to finish off my career. You are professional, humble, and you care so much about people. Medea and I have also been very fortunate to spend time with Lori, Amira, Kenyon, and Roman. You're such a beautiful and loving family, and Medea and I wish you all the best. Thank you to the mayors, TUMAC, UDA, this is actually allergies. TUMAC, UDA, and the community leaders. I have said it before, and there's proof because apparently it was on the evening news. After 13 moves, I've never seen more support for our military than I've experienced here. I challenge you to find a more supportive and patriotic community than the one that we have right here in Utah. Thank you all for indulging me in singing the national anthem. I shamelessly used that idea from Colonel Retired Mike Jackson from his ceremony, because when I heard it, it was absolutely beautiful. And it's not because we all have the best singing voices, because I certainly don't. Medea normally doesn't let me sing in public, but she made an exception for this one time. And I could have easily asked Ms. Lori Bell to sing because she has an amazing voice that I love to hear. But it's because the sound of everyone singing the national anthem as one, united in love of country, is absolutely beautiful. Especially to those of us who are wearing the cloth of our nation. Father Barna, thank you so much for traveling here today. And it's your 25th anniversary of your ordination, so congratulations to you. Thank you so much for spending your special day with us. Throughout our time at Geilenkirchen, you demonstrated a selfless love of our people from all of the NATO nations. You have such a special place in mine and Medea's hearts, and we would not have dreamt of asking anyone else. Thank you to all of our career broadeners, especially Captain Logan Jones. I know you're going to take a big breath after this is all done because you've been running around like crazy trying to make sure it's all perfect. But thank you also to Law, Mitch, Rachel, Gary, everyone who helped with the setup today that I saw running around setting up all the chairs and the tables. Thank you so much. And of course to Julie Lair, who doesn't ever like to be singled out. She's trying to ignore me right now, back there. But she is our protocol master extraordinaire, and you make everything look perfect and absolutely effortless. Thank you. And thank you to Chief Retired Smith for putting together my shadow box with such care. There's no way I could have come close to making it look so good because I have exactly zero artistic creativity in my body. I just can't do it. But he did an amazing job. And thank you to Sergeant Duarte and K9 Bach. There he is back there for representing the K9 handlers and the K9s. I got to know that particular specialty within security forces as a magistrate, and I gained a much deeper appreciation for what you do when I held that role. And while Medea was not a K9 handler, she was in security police, and when she was in the Air Force, that means a lot for you to be here. And thank you to the men and women of the Ogden Air Logistics Complex. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time here with you. And from the moment I walked in the door, I could tell that despite its size, this organization is a family. Thank you for welcoming me into this family and letting me learn from you, because we don't all walk in the door knowing exactly how a depot works. And you are very patient in teaching those of us who don't know the depot world what the business is. So thank you. I know you're going to continue to be successful and provide the safest and highest quality product to the warfighter. And in the audience today, you've got friends from St. Lucy's Priory High School, where I managed to graduate, even though I had to sign a contract swearing that I was going to wear my uniform correctly and make it to class on time. And I'm pretty sure that the lifetime ban from the AMB bus company is still in effect, though. Sadly. I see friends from the most dominating class to ever walk the terrazzo of the U.S. Air Force Academy. The class with the most chutzpah. 98 dominates. I couldn't think of a better day to have my retirement ceremony, not just because it's Colonel Bernd Kluge's birthday and he traveled here from Germany to be here to celebrate his birthday today, but because it's May 27th, 27 years to the day that I graduated from Cadet Squadron 27. I have friends here from the East Coast, the West Coast, many points in between, as well as friends who flew in from Germany and the Netherlands. Some of you may not have seen each other in a couple of decades or more, so take a look around. You might not recognize each other right off the bat. There's even somebody who remembers Captain Bell in the audience. I'll let you all figure it out later, sir. I have not changed it at all, of course. I haven't aged a bit. I just put these gray highlights in to make you all feel better. So you're welcome. But I would absolutely love to be able to share a specific memory and my appreciation for each and every one of you that made the effort and the time to come out and be here today, but we would be here for the next few hours, and I don't think anybody wants that. So just know that I deeply appreciate you making the time to be here today. Besides, I think that some of the stories might be best saved for later because this is a family show. I have both mentors and proteges here in person and joining us virtually. As I've gone through my career, I realized that the distinction between them blurs, and rank does not matter when it comes to receiving sage advice. We've learned from each other, and people often ask me what my favorite assignment was. I can never really decide on one. I've been in the worst situations, the furthest from what you would consider a guarded spot, in the most stressful of times, and the people that I was with is what mattered the most and not the location. It's always been about the people. But I'm humbled to see so many of my friends here from almost every assignment. I admire and I love you all. I know in my heart that my grandparents are probably looking down today. Allergies. What I am today is because of the strong foundation that they and my parents built. My parents came to America from Cuba just after the Cuban Revolution, and they instilled in me the values of hard work, education, and sacrifice. Because with those things, you can achieve so much in this great country. They taught me the importance of living in a country that values freedom. My mom is here with us today, and my mom is one of the strongest women that I know. She's faced challenges with grace and humility, and has taught my brother and I to change what is in our control and accept what is not. Anytime I said I was going to do something crazy like jump out of a plane or go fight bulls, and she just said, "Okay, honey, have fun." And I would find out later how worried she was, but she never tried to stop me from doing anything that I wanted to do, and she'd only encourage me, including when I decided to join the military 2 weeks after I turned 17, barely making the cutoff to go into basic training at the academy. So thank you for inspiring me to be humble and to have courage. I love you, Mom. My dad wasn't able to travel here today, although I know he would have loved to be here, and he will get the opportunity to watch the recording of the ceremony if he's not watching right now. And if he was here in the audience, he'd have tears of pride in his eyes, which would make me cry and have more allergies, of course. He's always going to be Superman to me. He is strong, smart, able to fix anything, solve any problem, do anything. He's always been superhuman to me, and he's always been so encouraging, always pushing me to be my best and to never settle for anything less. I love you, Dad. My brother has always been so supportive as well, and he's followed in my dad's footsteps as an incredibly talented aircraft mechanic in the commercial airlines. And he's always been a leader in his own right and the next Superman. I love you, Ryan. And our niece, Michaela, who, as you've heard, aspires to go to the Air Force Academy, and I have no doubt that she will. I can't wait to see what you accomplish and how far you go. My sisters-in-law and brother-in-law, Michelle, Phaedra, David, thank you all for your love and support. Our nephew Adam wasn't able to travel here, but he's doing great things at Auburn, and will no doubt also have a very successful career. My tia Mirta is here with us today, and my tia Norma and tio Pedro, who were unable to travel, will be watching online. I'm going to translate for you. That means aunt and uncle in Spanish. But they're watching online, and tia Bonnie is looking down from heaven. You've always been there cheering me on and ready to help whenever I needed it. Thank you for all of your love, guidance, and support over the years. It's my cousins Richard and Jenny who wasn't able to make it. We see each other sporadically, and every time it's like we haven't skipped a beat. You both keep picking on your poor baby cousin. I don't appreciate it, just saying. But it's all out of love. Our cousin Jared, you traveled wherever we were to see us, including Clovis, New Mexico, and that earns you a ticket to travel with us wherever we go. Anybody who comes to visit Clovis, just to visit anytime. So thank you for your love and support. We have a small family, but we have very big hearts. I love all of you. And my biggest thank you goes to Medea, my most trusted confidant, my partner in travel adventures, my most enthusiastic cheerleader. She's so smart and determined. She decided to reinvent herself and go back and complete her bachelor's and then her master's during our many moves, including moving from Hawaii to Germany during the height of COVID. And let me tell you that whatever she puts her mind to, she's going to accomplish it also. I know I can frustrate her to absolutely no end with my stubbornness and my chaotic nature. She says I'm like a bull in a china shop. But she's shown an amazing patience, and not only with me, but during the trials that accompany military life and life in general. This is a shared retirement because you've made sacrifices too. You've had to deal with everything on the home front while I've been deployed, or TBY, when you end up with the deployment curse and everything breaks and goes wrong, along with worrying about me when you're talking to me on video and see fireworks go off behind me. And they were fireworks. Just loud ones. But you've had to deal with our lives getting turned upside down. Every time we moved, we adjusted to new places, made new friends, and then had to leave them time and again. We've not gone through life, we've lived it and enjoyed it together. And you've made me a better person. I know what you value most is time spent with those that you love. And I'm looking forward to giving you more of that and sharing many more adventures and making so many more happy memories. I love you. And at this time, if you would bear with me, I want to present some gifts to my family. I think it's important to remember where you came from and to help mentor and shape the future generations. I gave my parents my second lieutenant bars and colonel's eagles that I've worn, because all of this was only possible because of them. And I gave my niece, Michaela, another set of colonel's eagles that I've worn, because I hope someday she'll wear them. And I wanted to have this ceremony in front of the mighty MH-53, because it's what I started with as a second lieutenant 27 years ago. And my experiences with the men and women in that unit influenced and shaped me as an officer. And my career here with my family, which is the most important thing in my life, and with my friends, who I hope I get to see more often than I have. Let's please not wait for another huge event to get together, please. So it's just about impossible to sum up my experiences and feelings about my career without this being an interminably long speech. So I'm going to close with this. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." That's what I've tried to do throughout my life. I never took the easy path. I took it as a challenge when people told me that something could not be done, and I tried to mentor those who would follow me. I'm leaving the Air Force today with absolute confidence in who we are and what we stand for. There are those who will challenge us, but our nation and its armed forces remain the world's symbols of strength and of hope, of freedom. And the generation that is now blessed to serve will do its duty and will ensure that our nation remains strong and free. It's been my privilege to wear the uniform, and serve in the greatest Air Force in the world. To all who will continue to serve after me, I just ask this one thing: make it matter and make it better.
Thank you, ma'am, for everybody coming up here and doing all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, since you're already standing, we're going to stand for the departure of the official party and the singing of the national anthem. Or excuse me, the Air Force song. I did that during practice too, I'm so sorry. I'm still thinking about singing it. We're going to stand for the singing of the Air Force song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the retirement ceremony. Before you get up and leave, we're going to ask Colonel Arturo Chipe's family to come in front of the stage where they're going to take a group photo. Once they take the photo, then we'll release everybody. So just please give us a second.